Men, if you're in a relationship with a woman who's in her 40s or 50s, you're going to want to listen up. Women and doctors barely know about perimenopause and menopause. Ooh, we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it because your reality is not the same. Her hormones are going for a ride. If you've ever experienced a woman in a postpartum depression, you probably have also experienced this. Y'all are just... You're set up for failure. I'm not going to lie. And even as a woman, we're set up for failure, right? Because not only does your woman's mood change once a week when she's in her prime, right? Which means at least 1 week a month, she's like all about you. And then we'll kind of see about the other 3. But when she goes through pregnancy, her hormones change. When she goes through postpartum, her hormones change. Then we throw in a lack of sleep. And you're like, what the fuck? The woman that I fell in love with, she's different, but she's a mom, so I want to be respectful. And then she gets to the point where finally her children are probably in school where she might, they're not like in survival mode depending on her 24/7. So she might have the bandwidth for you. And then we throw in perimenopause, which can start at the age of 40. I'm 41 and I've already noticed a significant change to my mood. So I've already gotten on hormone replacement therapy. But just as a heads up to you, the messaging that doctors and women have received for decades is that hormone replacement therapy can cause cancer. Right? So a lot of women are afraid of it because they don't want to cause cancer. Whereas the research shows, and again, I'm not a doctor, so go do your own research, go talk to your own doctors, that hormone replacement therapy doesn't actually cause cancer. So now there's like a whole shift in how women can get support during this time period of their life. But most of them aren't educated on it. And we get gaslit by our doctors because my doctor said that my hormones were within range. But in what range? Because depending on the time period of my cycle, my hormones could have been wildly off the charts, but nobody followed up with another test to check a different part of my cycle. So I'm left to the TikTok gurus and experts and going to go find my own information to see why I don't feel like me. Right? So men in partnership with women who are going through this, who are confused and whose doctors are not helping support them, or they're afraid of long-term health consequences if they do get hormonal support, are just left to feel like a fucking raging woman. Right? She doesn't feel like herself. So if you're experiencing her not feeling like herself, guess what? Join the club, right? And also when our estrogen drops, our kind of ability to tolerate your bullshit also drops. So it's a little bit of both and, right? Yes, her hormones are changing. She doesn't feel like herself. She is having night sweats. She's probably not sleeping well. There's a whole bunch of other side effects that she is just having to navigate physically. And the things that she tolerated before, she just may be fed up with it. She may have just not want to put up with it anymore because she has put up with it for long enough. And yes, she should have communicated better during that time frame. Maybe you weren't a safe space for her to communicate with. Maybe you've communicated your wants and needs and she kind of appeased them and now she's not. Like, again, all of that is at play. So all of that to say, it's not impossible for relationships to survive perimenopause and menopause, but figure it's probably going to be about a 10-year period where her hormones are changing, right? And so it's learning how to have better relationship and communication skills. And for both of you, her included in this, both of you learning how to meet each other's needs in partnership as your partnership grows and evolves. Because also this time frame in life, if you have kids, is also when your kids are growing up and you're becoming empty nesters. And then you guys have to figure out what the next 20 or 30 years looks like from here. And when your hormones are all over this, or your dynamic has changed, or your relationship has evolved and it's kind of on shaky ground, the future may be a little bit dicey. Okay? All the reason for each one of you to do healing work, for each one of you to understand your own internal world, to repair the relationship with yourself so that you can come to the relationship with wholeness and go, how can I meet your needs? What would loving you look like today, right? For both of you to do that. Because men, you don't certainly have to be her punching bag, right? Women, you certainly don't have to put up with toxic men who just, were toxic the first 20 years and now you're just sick of it. Right? But it doesn't have to mean ending the relationship if both of you are committed to understanding what's at play truly and actually getting to the root of issues so that connection is possible. Or maybe you've just decided that, fuck it, I'd rather be alone. And then you get to go deal with the dating world in your 40s and 50s. And that's fun. Love that for you. But that may be a better alternative. For me, I would rather be single than stay in the marriage that I was in. Never once regretted it. But that's just my story. It doesn't have to be yours. So yeah. This is why there is a specific section inside of my men's program where I help men who are struggling in relationships and going through divorces and breakups or trying to date in their 40s and 50s, where we have a specific section on hormones, right? And during cycles of her hormones, what does she need in those moments? What is she experiencing? So you can at least have an idea of like, oh, I think we're in the luteal phase. Okay, what does that mean? Right? So that you have at least an understanding of what's at play rather than just experiencing her surface level and not understanding the context of what's really going on. So men, if you want to learn more about this coaching program where we talk about more than just hormones, but we give you the nervous system regulation for you to process all of the stress that this hormonal changes in your woman creates. We talk about your own survival responses of fight, flight, fawn, or freeze. We help you understand your own emotions, right? We give you more language besides happy, sad, mad, or glad. And we talk about relational leadership and how to have healthy terms of conflict. So inevitably, when she's a little moody, you guys have boundaries around what conflict looks like and what it doesn't look like, so we don't cross any boundaries into becoming disrespectful and creating a lot more disconnect. So if that sounds like you, DM me the word heal, and let's talk about healthy mentality. Godspeed out there.